Also like that.
We are now on board a gondola or gondola. Okay, yeah.
Hi everyone, welcome to another vlog from the March Guy. So I was looking down the window one day and then suddenly I had this brilliant idea. So I was like, how about I make a video about all the travels in my life? I haven't really shared to you guys how my travels were like, and considering that I've been to a lot of countries, I might as well just share them to my loyal subscribers, right? By the way, if you're new to this channel, I'm the March Guy. Hello. I'm 19 years old and I'm a college student of Google Classroom University. I like making videos about my life, so please finish this video so you can help me be monetized. So as the title suggests, I have been to 19 countries, which are Italy, South Korea, Dubai or UAE, Japan, Australia, USA, Jordan, Egypt, Israel, Spain, Singapore, China, Cambodia, Thailand, Malaysia, France, Switzerland, Vatican, and Belgium. Again, special thanks to my parents for sponsoring all my trips. Of course, these trips would have gone to waste if I haven't learned anything from those horrible jet lags. But today is your lucky day. I still have my memories intact from 10 years ago. So these are the lessons I've learned from traveling to 19 countries at the age of 19. Lesson number 1. Food doesn't scare me anymore. I am a Southeast Asian and rice is part of my daily activity. I have rice for breakfast, dinner, lunch, snacks, midnight snack, shower. And the problem is, not all countries have rice and not all countries eat rice for a living. So as an ignorant Southeast Asian, this could have been a problem, right? But however, traveling has made me appreciate more the variety of food there is in the world. And that just made me become more curious about how each culture and how each country has their own food and how they prepared it. I've tried a lot of food from different countries in the 19 years that I've been traveling. It was in Europe that I found out about the existence of macaroons, which was in fact also a Philippine delicacy. And I didn't know that macaroons existed until we went to Europe. And it was in the back streets of France that I started to appreciate Chinese food. And when we were in Beijing, I actually didn't like Chinese food at all. In Beijing and South Korea, we went to a lot of exotic food markets, and there we would try cockroaches. They weren't really that good looking, if I may say. When we were in the Middle East, we actually ate a lot of sheep and lamb, which was very new to me since I wasn't really a fan of eating sheep and lamb. And there was too much lamb and sheep going on that I decided to just drink apple juice from the flight from Dubai to the Philippines. So yeah, as a result, I've really made an appreciation for different varieties of food from the different countries. And it just makes you have a craving like no other. And it makes you want to go back to that country and try the food that you once ate again. Second lesson, I was able to have a deeper appreciation of the arts, the history, and the culture of each country. So back when I was still young, I'm still a child though, we used to have a ton of books about culture and the history of a lot of countries, and my nerdy brother would read a lot of them, and I would just sit there and watch him read all those books because words bored me a lot and I only wanted to see the pictures. Books never interested me at all, though my parents have bought a lot of them for us. So it was actually after traveling and seeing those pieces in reality that made me become interested in studying more about these stuff and just made me inclined to learn more about the history and culture of these countries and everything that their country is about. When we were in Europe, my brother would go crazy on all the paintings that we saw in museums, and I was just like, I would just come along with him and watch him be amazed of all the paintings. I always used to feel forced to go to the museums because they didn't amuse me at all. And that's when you get to realize that each country and each people of the country is actually very unique. And traveling more, I appreciated the aspects of these cultures, which in turn allowed me to have a deeper appreciation of these things and inclined me to learn more. So yeah, reading is important as well. So some small advice, try to learn more about the country you're going to before you actually go to that country. Third lesson, walking is more fun as long as you're not hungry. My family has always made a habit to refrain from taking trains or taxis along the city because walking around the place can actually be more fun than riding vehicles. You get to stumble upon a lot of places that you never expected to stumble upon. When we were in Europe, we actually walked 21 kilometers. I think that was France or Spain. And that was actually the time I kept on whining because I really wanted to go home and take a taxi. But actually, the more we walked, the more gems we actually found along the area. And there's so much you can miss if you just go around the city on 4 wheels. There's so much adventure when you just walk around the city and let destiny guide you to where you want to go. It was just actually about being well-absorbed tourist and immersing yourself on that place. So yeah, most of our trips we haven't really relied on transportation. We just mostly used our feet to walk around the wonderful creations of God. So whether it be the scorching heat of the sun during the summer or the freezing winter of China, we would still walk. Of course, the consequence always arises when we keep on walking, and that is me. Ask my family and they will all say that I'm the whiner. I am such a complainer when we walk too much and we eat lesser. Next lesson. You can never go wrong with wrong direction. When we were walking around the alleys of Venice, we stumbled upon a gondola service which actually offered a much lesser price, a discounted price, than those in the main part of Venice. Really a big saver for all of us. And that actually happened when we were just trying to look for food or find places to have pictures with. This is also one of the silver linings of walking around, because you discover a lot more that aren't really seen on tourist maps or travel guides. So upon doing this, you realize early on that it's okay to not follow your plans sometimes and just go with the winds of destiny. There was this incident in Japan one time. My mother and I wanted to go to the airport a night before. So we took the night train, the last train to Narita Airport. And then we both slept, and when we woke up, we were in another part of Japan. And that part, I do not know. And it was around 12 midnight. We had no idea how to get to the airport. All the trains were already closed and there were no taxis available on that station. There were a lot of drunk people around. However, I have learned to value the art of maps, and we learned to manage ourselves and navigate ourselves without the aid of anyone else. Yeah, it was a very thrilling experience. And there was also this one time in Spain when we were bound to France and we had a stop in this Spanish station. So unknowingly, our train for Paris just left, and we didn't know that because the announcer said that the platforms bound for France were actually changing. So while waiting for another train, we toured around this Spanish town, and we've actually discovered a lot more about Spain that aren't really that advertised. The next lesson is smiling. Sometimes you may not know the language or you may not know what's going on, but all you have to do is keep on smiling. Smiling can do so many wonderful things, and it can even give you a discount you never asked for. A seller might have encountered a lot of grumpy tourists, but then you come along and you give him or her a smile, and then you can actually have a discount. That's true. We were in China one time and we went to this pearl factory, and this woman kept on saying, "Welcome to." It's a bad impression. And we were just like, okay. We just kept on smiling because we didn't understand what she was saying. But then after close analysis of what she was saying, she was actually saying welcome drink. So we also scored a free drink that day. And also when we were in Paris, there was this desk guy that greeted us bonjour every morning. And he would just give us a really big smile when we came down, and he would just say like bonjour. Another bad impression again, sorry. I think that universally smiling is a language that we can all understand. Smiling to one another can actually make a big difference in one's day. Keep on smiling. The sixth lesson I've learned is to never go on tours. Tours actually give you a pre-packaged idea of where you should go to or where you should travel to. Having fixed time schedules can actually hamper your sense of adventure. In traveling, your spirit of adventure should never be lost. And yes, I admit that there are circumstances when you need to go on tours because the place you might be going to might not speak the English language very well, or because of safety reasons. The only time we actually used a tour was during our Holy Land trip because it was required by the agency and there were some issues concerning security. So when you start participating on tours, you actually lose your sense of spontaneity because you're not really immersing yourself with a place and not having that sense of adventure to go try things that you've never tried before, because you're already fixed into a predetermined schedule and all the places that you want to go to are already scheduled as well. So where's the fun in that? There are perks while traveling young. My brother and I almost had 3 admissions when we went around museums in Europe, and it was actually a great saver for our family since we didn't have to spend a lot in entering museums. I got in free because of my age, and my brother got in because of his school ID. And sometimes they put you in a priority line if you're a kid. When you travel, you get to exchange cultural narratives with a lot of people. The common question is, where are you from? And that's all where conversations begin. So when you're a tourist and you travel to another country, a dialogue is sure to happen. You get to discover more about these people and how they live their lives in their own country, cultivates a lot of knowledge, gives you a bird's eye view of how big and diverse the world is. This just gives you a deeper appreciation. I've been saying appreciation for a long time now. Well, let me check another word for appreciation. Admiration. Again, you get to have a greater admiration of these people, and you realize that you're just a microcosm in this world full of many people. And lastly, we're all the same one human race. When you travel, sometimes it is unavoidable to compare the culture of one person with yours. And this comparison, you tend to find the differences and similarities between your culture and theirs. The things that I complain about my country can actually also be the same that the country that I'm going to is facing. Seeing so many cultures, seeing so many faces, we cannot avoid but face the fact that human struggle is still the same with these countries, although different locations. I just realized that everyone is struggling to live the life that they want to. And at the end, we're just all the same one human race. And that alone just gives us a reason to be one united mankind. So I guess that's all for the March Guide today. And I hope that you've learned something from all my travels. And if you did learn anything, please feel free to comment on the comment section down below any lessons that you were able to learn or any tidbits that you were able to gather from my video. So I will see you on the next video.